Jim, I want to get you in here, and you're not the husband. But you've got Millionaire, which also is especially tailored to take advantage of some of the Mac features. So introduce us to Millionaire.
Well, basically, Millionaire is a stock market simulation, and as I was mentioning before we went on, the way I got into this was I'd made a few $1,000s doing some consulting work and invested it in stock options, and over the course of a year had a great time, learned an awful lot about stock options, and also lost half the money. Just about that time, the IBM personal computer was coming on the market, and there was great speculation over the kind of person that would buy that computer, an upwardsly mobile person very concerned about their own personal well-being and their personal net worth, and I decided that, gee, why don't I take the experiences that I just learned in the stock market and apply it to a computer game that kind of specifically tailored to the kind of individual that would buy the IBM personal computer.
Tell us how, in using Mac, you were able to make Millionaire such an effective game.
Okay. Basically, the original version of Millionaire on the IBM was structured in a kind of a hierarchy of menus, which is a pretty traditional way to write a computer program. And unfortunately, in the real world, when you want to invest in the stock market, you want to look at all kinds of information at the same time. And about 6 months before the Mac came out, Apple came to us and said, gee, we'd like to make sure that Millionaire is available on the Macintosh, and we were very excited about it. And as a coincidence, 2 days after Apple came to us, I got a call from a programmer that had spent the past year programming the Macintosh for Pete Marwick Mitchell. So suddenly, 2 days, we had a programmer with a year's experience and a product, and we were ready to go.
Okay, show us how you'd play this here.
First thing we're going to do is we're going to bring up a save game, and in about 10 seconds you'll see the central screen of Millionaire. Basically, you can invest in 15 stocks in 5 industry groups, and everything you can do in the real world you can do in Millionaire.
Does this make you a better investor, too?
It will not make you rich. We bang away at that time and time again. The feedback we get from our customers is they say, my gosh, the stupid mistakes that I didn't make because I played your game first. Millionaire provides you with that fundamental knowledge that gives you the courage to go out and invest.
Okay, Jim, just a little time left. We have the basic screen up here. Show us how you play.
We have the basic screen up here. Basically, here's how you play a game of Millionaire. I'd say, gee, let's buy some Dow Jones stock. I'd click on Dow. We'd come over here, get a description of Dow Jones. Learn a little bit about the history of the company. Gee, what's it all about? Next thing we do...
And this is based on fact, all this.
Based on fact. We'd come and take a look at how the stock market in general is performing. Stock market looks like it's going up. We take a look at how the heavy industry group's doing. Seems to be going up. Let's take a look at Dow Chemical. Dow's going up. Let's go ahead and buy a little bit of Dow Chemical. And we're going to slip the keyboard over here. Well, let's go ahead and buy 3,000 shares of Dow Chemical. And as you'll notice, we'll get a transaction report just like you'd get from your broker, commission and the whole works. Now we're going to move over and we're going to clean up the desktop a little bit as soon as the computer will allow me to do that. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to move ahead a week, and we're going to see, gee, what happens when we move ahead a week to the price of our stock. Before we do that...
How'd you do in the first week?
How do we do in the first week? And this is the beauty of Millionaire. What I can do is I can bring down my stock portfolio. I can shrink it up a little bit. Okay. I can bring down a graph of the stock price. Let's get the graph. And I can scroll the graph. Horizontal scrolling. We can shrink it up something like this. Well, how about that? We'll move it over here. Now we'll bring down news reports. The game actually has newspaper reports from the Wall Street Journal and Barron's. And
Jim,
as you go forward each week, you'll see news reports.
This really shows the power of the graphical interface.
The Macintosh is a very, very powerful computer. Now what we'll do...
I'm going to have to interrupt you, Jim, because you don't have time to see the rest of it. It's tempting.